Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the last bi-weekly webinar here from Gentian of the year. And we are grateful that we get to spend it with you all who are listening now and later. So just wanted to say thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to this last one of the year. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna wrap up a few things. We're gonna kind of take a reflection of the year, take a look back at what was happening in the world, what was happening in the financial markets, what we did here at the team as well, all for the sake of you and all for the planning and the outlook for you all that are listening to the meeting right now as well. So with that being said, I'm Ken Flannery with Gentian. We have Zach DeBoer on the call as well, along with Michael Mann, Michael Birschbach, and also Julie Decent will help us out with the happenings at the end of the webinar today. So as you know, we always like to go big. We hope you all had a great holiday season. Hopefully it was nice and joyous in the way that you like to experience it and celebrate. I know sometimes the holidays can be tough on some joys for others. And so it's kind of a mixed feeling sometimes around the holidays. When we look at going big, also what we'd like to do is I like to say my gratitude goes out to Kristen Ellsworth. She actually turned our family onto a tradition. It's the reading of the night before Christmas. So one of the grandchildren get to read the story in front of the whole family, and they get nervous and they get excited, and all this stuff happens, and it really kind of puts the leadership onto some of the kids of the family, which is pretty cool. So I'm grateful for Kristen for introducing that family tradition to ours. We certainly do appreciate her and all the things that she does here at Gentian, and just being a wonderful human being as well. So with that being said, Zach?
Yeah, thank you, Ken. I think I can echo that as well. I was just grateful for Christmas time and the traditions and different things that you share with family. Specifically, I'm grateful for the perspective of the country that we live in. Got the opportunity to see the movie The Boys in the Boat. If you're looking for a feel-good story, it's incredible. It really was. In the 1930s, there was a rowing team in the Olympics. When they went to Germany, it was a Washington team. A JV team made it. They were all kind of from homeless or destitute areas and just joined for money. They beat the varsity team, then they beat kind of the rest of the US, qualified for the Olympics, and then won gold that year. So I got the book too, but it just was inspirational to see how really the country came together during the times of the Great Depression, and then soon after, fought against somebody trying to take over the world. So it just brought amazing perspective, and grateful for the country that we live in.
Fantastic, Zach. Absolutely. Yeah. A team that's undivided is pretty powerful. Absolutely. So we agree there. So Mike Mann, what are you grateful for?
Thanks, Ken. So I'm grateful for friends, family, Christmas, and power tools. This last Christmas, it was a very red Christmas. Milwaukee Tool was definitely the theme as it was going around. Walked away with that screwdriver I've been looking for a long time. One of my my future brother-in-law chainsaw. So we had the entire Christmas. Even my mother got a leaf blower from Milwaukee Tool. So it was really excellent. Shout out to the engineers at Milwaukee Tool for making a great product, and those overseas who are putting those together for us. Just grateful for those kind of innovations. Thanks, Ken.
That sounded like Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement.
Yeah, exactly.
That was nice, Mike.
Yeah,
Can't
Who,
go wrong with power tools.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. Yeah, who's going to be the neighbor by the fence where you never get to see their face? Who's going to be that person on the team, right? So, absolutely. That was great, Mike, to see you having a great holiday season with the family and Milwaukee Tool being part of that. So, Julie Decent, how about yourself?
Thank you, Ken. My gratitude is actually with family as well. All the boys were home. We had a house full of grandkids, lots of joy, lots of energy. So I just treasure those times that we can all gather together and celebrate. So it was nice having everyone home.
Absolutely, Julie. That's great to have the whole family together like that. So that sounds like fun, especially with those new grandbabies in the family, right? Absolutely. Michael Birschbach, how about yourself?
Thanks, Ken. I would echo a lot of the points made with the Christmas spirit, but for me, it's patience and self-awareness. I spent a lot of time this Christmas in a car, probably equal to the amount of time I spent with family, and like everything else, there's things that are going to go wrong, but just being aware that it's not all about me and that it's a holiday and it's about everybody else, and just want to be in a great Christmas regardless of what all happens. So.
Very good, Michael. We appreciate that, and yeah, so sometimes the giving aspect is even more powerful there too. So absolutely, for sure. Thank you guys for sharing. We look forward to hearing all of your go bigs when we see you guys in the new year during our planning reviews and meetings and get-togethers. We appreciate that. What we want to do here is, before we jump into some other of the financial things and the pieces going around the world, a kind of a reflection, what we like to do is take a moment of silence right now for those that we've lost this year, those who you love this year, some Gentian clients as well. And we just want to take a moment of silence and remember those. Hopefully that all gives us a chance to just kind of relive some of those memories with the people that we care most about in our lives. With that being said, there was a lot going on in 2023. There's things that were on the financial side. There's things that were in the world that were happening, and also here at the team. So also some positive news stories as well that were happening along the year as well. So you look at kind of a year in review. Let's do a little reflection here. Just kind of on I'm going to start with the team side of things, if you will, and then I know maybe Zach or Mike will get into some of the financial year in review as well. Take a look at what happened with the team this year. We had two new team members here in 2023. So we want to welcome those to the team. That brings the total up to 14 for the team right now. So again, why do we have the team? It's because we're trying to put we're trying to put the team together so we can be in the best position to help guide you and serve you throughout the transitions, the questions, the milestones that you reach in your life, so we can be here to give you the best advice and stand ready to serve you as well. So that's very, very much grateful for the team. So thank you all, the team Gentian, if you will. Thanks for all your dedication this year. We certainly do appreciate it. I know the clients feel the same way as well. So we take a look at that piece. One of the interesting things is we do a fair amount of events here, and we do them in a meaningful way. We try to. It's all about spending time with you and getting to know you as well. And we take a look at some of the other top teams that are around the nation. And some top teams are only doing, say, 5 to 10 events per year, maybe 10 at the most. And here, I think we logged in over 60 plus events. And some of the highlights that we do when we get to spend time with you, some of our favorites that we'd like to hear maybe what your favorites are, but some of the feedback that we get are definitely the Getting Out of the Green, the Rise and Shine on that Sunday is really a powerful and moving day for everybody. It's a little more relaxed, which is fun. And it's just a great way to spend time together, listen to some great music, and also just socialize outside of the office in a business meeting with. So we appreciate that event with all of you that have been able to attend that event as well. Also, the Shred event and the Eat Outside Day. For some reason, recycling those old monitors and some of the technology, that seems to be a pretty good event, and we get a lot of good feedback on that. And again, it's always fun to share a meal with you guys after the fact that you shred all your old documents up. So, and also the birthday clubs. We do one every month, and we appreciate you and your birthday. We love celebrating with you guys, and so that seems to be a good one as well. So. We also did two book clubs this year. Chris led them. It was fantastic. Really trying to become better human beings, just internally, so we can help others as well. And really the theme here at Gentian has always been, always getting better. AGB, always getting better. So, whether that's us learning about financial topics for you, becoming a better human being, how we treat other people, how we treat ourselves, really always getting better. So that was really fun too. And Zach has done a great job, and the whole team has really done a great job with COI, Centers of Influence. Those are going to be the tax accountants, the estate planning attorneys, the mortgage brokers, the things of that nature. So wherever you need help in your overall planning, we really try to seek out and vet wonderful centers of influence for you that can help you and give you the ultimate plan that you really deserve and need. So that was really some of the team events, and maybe if I missed a few there, I probably did, because there were so many to go over. If anybody wants to chime in along the way, please do so. We really appreciate that. So when it comes to planning, it's really interesting because we had to be patient. Faith, patience, and discipline. You've heard us say that I don't know how many times, but it paid off. We had to be really patient for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, before we got the returns that we were looking for this year. So in November and December. So these 2 months we just went through really gave us the year of return in basically 2 months. So that comes down to the faith, patience, and discipline. And we want to congratulate all of you who've done a great job. You've been patient, you've been disciplined, and here we are getting the return of the great, resilient, great companies of the world. So we want to say thank you to all of you for staying patient in the moment where it really gets challenging sometimes. When you take a look at interest rates, rise in interest rates, inflation. These are all headlines that you guys know about. Cash paying over 5% for the first time in 13 or 14 years, whatever the time frame is there, but cash paying quite a bit. Silicon Valley Bank, the fail, and then the buyouts that started to happen there. The wars, artificial intelligence, the Middle East, wildfires in Hawaii. Some cities seeing record highs of crime. And also homelessness and addiction, almost to critical levels, really. The country's budget deficits. These are all things that we saw. A presidential election that's less than a year away right now. So these are things that we had to endure this year. We had to witness. These are very historic moments. And when you look at this, all these historic moments go down in history, yet the great companies of the world were fairly resilient through all of this, which is pretty remarkable. So there's some positives too. I'm going to come back to the positives here closer to the end to kind of end on that positive note, if you will. But with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Zach's for Zach's Facts.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Very, very well said. And as Ken mentioned, we received about a year and a half worth of return in 7 weeks. So October was one of the tougher months of 2023 and led into really the best 7 weeks straight, 8 weeks straight now since 2017. So I'll kind of give the rounded to the whole number of what the different indexes are year to date, and then also how much they're actually up since essentially November 1st. We're very close to it. The Dow Jones up 13% year to date, but 10% in the last month. The S&P 500, 24% for the year, and that's about 10% up in the last month as well. The NASDAQ, which is 50% weighted towards technology, which had the largest temporary downturn last year, was up about 44% on the year and 15% in the last 8 weeks. International side of things, right around 12% positive on the year and 9% positive in the last since November 1st. Emerging markets lagging behind kind of the rest still at about 5.5% and 5% gain in the last month though. And here's where we saw the biggest returns and where we've had to be the most patient really over the last year and a half, 2 years. And that's when it comes to the small sized companies. The Russell 2000 is up 17% on the year, and 17% of that occurred since November 1st. So the growth portion up about 20% on the year, 19% since November 1st, and the value side up 14% on the year and 17% really in the last 8 weeks there as well. And really the beautiful thing about that, we've talked about it every single year because it's a benefit every single year to do it, but the beauty of rebalancing, that pretty much any rebalance that occurred throughout the year, we would have been purchasing more small cap more than likely in your strategy, which had to be patient with that, and then it occurs, right? And I think Chris shared something with us last webinar that small caps, depending on the indexes you're looking at, were the most undervalued since 1974. So really in the last 50 years, most undervalued. Before passing it over to Mike and Michael, just want to share a few things to look ahead to in 2024 on the planning side of things. Secure Act 2.0 came out really at the end of last year, beginning of this year, and really was, to be completely honest, and what we've heard from our experts, kind of a complete mess as far as the interpretations go. Rules were made on top of rules without consideration of those other rules. Here's a few high-level ones that may apply to you or to your loved ones. The $7,000 IRA contributions went from $6,000 in 2022, $6,500 in 2023. It's now increased for inflation, so it's now $7,000 in 2024 with an additional $1,000 catch-up. So if you're over the age of 50, you can actually put in $8,000 into an IRA or Roth IRA. There's new phase out limits for contributing to a Roth IRA. Some really intricate details when it comes to Roth 401ks and having to take required distributions. You used to have to do that if it stayed in your employer plan. Now that is going away in 2024. And really, the biggest questions still occur when it comes to the 10-year distribution rule if you inherit an IRA from a loved one. There's still certain rules that if you're a spouse or within 10 years, and the biggest confusion came with if somebody passed away that was taking required distributions already, they'd be subject to the 10-year rule and have to take a required minimum amount every single year for those 10 years. Because of the massive amount of confusion about that, it was waived for 2020, 2021, 22, and 2023. And so 2024, that should be there. So if you have an inherited IRA or heaven forbid you inherit one in 2024, that'll be something that will be working very closely with you on. Another one that received a lot of headlines that I won't go into big detail on, but a 529 is now expanded to be able to have some of those dollars, if you reach qualifying events, to go back into a Roth IRA for that beneficiary, but it's still clear as mud across the board of exactly how that's going to work and if you can change beneficiaries. But the biggest key is that if it's been open for 15 years and you have a child that has a 529 or a beneficiary of one and they have earned income, you can take up to the contribution limit, which is 7,000 from the 529 and fund that IRA. So something that we're working very closely on, but like I said, clear as mud there. So with that, Ken, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Zach. We appreciate the updates there. And yes, there's a lot going on, a lot yet to be determined. But as these come about throughout the year, we will certainly keep you up to date. And if it applies to you, we will let you know the options and the best planning strategies ahead that we can plan for. So with that being said, when you take a look at like the education that Zach was talking about, and where do we get all this information? It comes down to 4 or 5 different organizations and coaching groups that we're part of throughout the year. APFA is one of them. Empowered Wealth is one of them. The Ed Slott, of course, where we get a lot of the tax rules from him as well. I know Chris is part of Thrivers and also Abundance 360. There's probably a few other ones that I'm missing there. We also want to recognize Chris for all the work within the community. He's done a lot within the community. You probably see him out there. He definitely enjoys the community. He enjoys giving back where he can. And he also enjoys we enjoy the leadership of the firm that he offers us with advice, always getting better, and also the endless and tireless work that he does with clients as well. So we want to appreciate that for the kind of the year in review there. So I know Chris just joined us. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm great, Ken. How are you?
Absolutely, very good, very good. So, we'll bring Chris on here in a second, if that's okay. Let's jump over to Mike's minutes and see what Mike has to enlighten with us today.
Chris, don't worry, I'll keep it to a minute for you. So one of the themes that Zach was speaking on, and we talk about the run that the market's had this year, and it's wonderful to see. We actually haven't set a new all-time high yet in the S&P 500, so we're close, not quite there. It's been fun to watch the recovery, but most interestingly, and Ken alluded to some of the places that we get a lot of our information, what we reciprocate to you from those different events and different sort of learnings that we have. Another place is talking to industry experts. And that's something that I've been very thankful to be able to kind of spearhead and be able to talk to a lot of those individuals who represent the different fund companies that we entrust your hard-earned money with. And interestingly enough, when you reflect on analysts and what they were saying at the beginning of the year, nobody really had a positive outlook. Pretty much what we were hearing was that this recession was going to happen. Rates were going to be too high for things to continue to do well. The economy was going to stall, all sorts of different things, leading to a bearish thought process based on what was going to happen over the course of the year. Some even thinking that the S&P 500 would go down from the beginning. When we had the run in the middle, they kept calling for it to settle back in around 3,800. Well, we're now back to 4,700. And so that's just another reminder that we can only put so much effort into listening to what they're saying. It's trivial. It's very interesting. It's a lot of talking points and stuff to be aware of because it is based upon real facts and real things that have occurred. The market is going to do what it does. And in the words of Nick Murray, the economy cannot be forecasted and the market cannot be predicted. So thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. That might have been less than a minute, actually. That was pretty good. So, well done. Way to be organized there with your thoughts. We appreciate that. So, let's bring on Michael Birschbach, and then I'll hand it over to Chris, and then we'll finish with Julie. So, Michael, what would you like to say today?
Thank you, Ken. So a theme that we're hearing, or personally I'm hearing quite a bit lately, is education savings in conjunction with retirement savings. And what do? A lot of people actually enter their highest earning years of their career towards the end of their career as they get closer and closer to retirement. It can be difficult to start to finish funding your retirement as well as saving for education for a child or someone. So what can we do? If I had to offer any advice on this topic, it's to prioritize your retirement savings first. Make the most of 401k matches, IRA contributions, meet with your financial advisor or us to talk about to make sure that you're on track for retirement. Secondly, you'll want to focus on those college savings, which can be in 529 plans. College has student loans. There's unfortunately no loans for retirement. If you're looking for some flexibility, you can also open up a taxable brokerage account, and if that's there, you may lose some of the tax benefits for putting money into an education plan, but you'll have to weigh the pros and cons of having flexibility. Everyone's situation is a little bit different, so please reach out to us. We're happy to help guide you. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate that. And yeah, juggling those two big milestones in our lives can be challenging. That's for sure. So, with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Chris Doty. Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you. So today, if I'm going through Always Getting Better, lessons from our wonderful friend who wrote a wonderful book for us. There's 30 principles in it. You may have guessed it, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Today, focus on praise every improvement. So anytime somebody does something that's better, improves in some way that you notice, even if you barely notice. This works extremely well with children, friends, spouses. When somebody makes progress, I just want to tell you guys to make sure that you praise them today. So that's number one. There's two things today I wanted to talk about. So 2023, always a year-end wrap-up, right? This is what we do. It's that time of year. It's interesting for myself. I don't really like to operate within just the year's bounds. So I'll be doing some things earlier this month. I'll be doing some things in January. But I tend to be some of the people who work out of the box. Most people who work in the box are those who are going to say, oh, the 31st, I need to make my New Year's resolutions, and I need to forget them all by the 15th or so of January. I try never to do that. I try to make very few resolutions, only ones I'll keep that are super simple. Like I'll wake up every day. You know, things like that you can accomplish, and you can give yourself some feedback and some really good feedback. I kid you a little bit on that. I will next year intend to tell more dad jokes. I know many of you appreciate them. I'll be more intricate with them, probably feather more of them into all the presentations, because I know that's one of the high or low points for all of you. So I appreciate those as well. Matter of fact, while we're talking about it, I just wanted to tell you, we're watching some Disney movies here over the break, and it was quite funny. But I think I just found out that Aladdin has been banned from the Magic Carpet Race. Reports say that he's been using performance-enhancing rugs. At any rate, there's some really good ones I can continue with, but as we go through, what I wanted to talk to you about was commitment and intent. So 2024, as any year, we're going to commit to always getting better for you. Ken mentioned some of the different programs. Some of the most important things are going to be getting more committed to you, understanding you better, telling you more of what's going on here when you don't know it. Your plan is number one. We've talked about that, committing to make sure we know what your plan is and you know your plans or any adjustments to those in 2024. The nice thing about years is they do put a great bookend. They give us a chance to reevaluate and a chance to put out intentions for another period of time. And as always, I think that commitment that we have to you in service is another one that's massive. We've committed by adding a couple of team members here in a 3-year time frame where markets don't go up, where I think a lot of people have actually reduced their teams. I think it's silly. We always look at great team members. When we get a chance to add them from another firm, we're introduced to 2. You've seen Michael Birschbach, you've seen Lauren as well. We were able to go out and find them through introductions during this time and really, really be fortunate about the fact that we could add them to our team. They were doing really well at their firms. We just happened to have a better offering, and they decided that they would change course. So we appreciate them tremendously and adding them to our team here. Making sure that we understand you is really number one for our intent for 2024 as well. So please share with us when we're sitting down in meetings, maybe just a statement from you at the beginning of the year, any things you really want to accomplish, things that you're looking at, things you might be having trouble with. These are what we're here for. Okay, I am the founder of this firm. 14 of us are now on the team, which is great. But about 28 years ago, I started in this business as a kid who was just here looking to do some good for other people, as I'd left another business, which was telecommunications. Enjoyed that, but realized that was about that much of your life. I have been so blessed to come into this industry and find my vocation. My vocation is to be here to serve you, to look to your financial and, more importantly, your family's future. I now have grandkids of grandkids. I've been to 40 or 50 funerals. I never guessed that I would be at 40 funerals of my great friends. And fortunately or unfortunately, how you want to see it, I'm here from the beginning of a relationship till the end of our relationship. We commit to being here for you and for your family and to those who you need to serve beyond you being here. The intentions and the commitments of our firm here are paramount. There are many, many, many more. I wanted to highlight a few today here and didn't want to take up the whole time. I do want to get to Julia and look at what's important as far as dates to pay attention to coming up here in 2027. I'm joking. You're looking at what, Chris? 2027. Just seeing if you're paying attention, 2024. But I did want to say our commitments to you are continual, they're strong. Our intentions are to serve you better. Most importantly, to continue to let you know the gratitude that we have for you, for the introductions that you make, for bringing people to us to keep us growing so we can spend 100% of time on you while you'll find people that you introduce to us to make our firm growing and better, which is outstanding. We're growing still. We appreciate that. We're still accepting new introductions. One qualification, make sure they are nice. They don't have to be like super kind of nice, but nice people that we want to work with. If you wouldn't work with them, thank you very much. We have somebody else you can send them to. We'll give you the name and address and phone number. But without that, I just wanted to say we appreciate those introductions because we've had many. You have given us many of your friends, your family members, and just great opportunities for us to help them, even just answer questions. So we commit to you, our long-term relationship together. We appreciate your patience, and most importantly, through a 3-year correction that really most likely ended sometime in October of this year, began about 3 years before that. We've had a lot of time for patience that we've had here. And I want to say, you who have gotten through, you who are with us, have been the beneficiaries of that. You will continue to be. We're not going to make any silly moves. We're not going to make any rash, crazy moves because of what's going on, because faith, patience, and discipline are what have gotten us to this point. And they will continue on as well. So in your planning, in what we do for you, we commit and intend to be here for you, most importantly, for anything that you need. That's what the 14 of us are here for. So with that, that's Chris Doty. I just wanted to say that message here in this different format of our bi-weekly webinar. I'll pass it over though to Ken. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Chris. We always appreciate hearing you and your words of wisdom there, and our commitment to our clients is really what I heard there, which is fantastic. So thank you for that piece that you added there. Julie, we'd like to bring Julie Deason on. I'd like to hear the Gentian happenings here that's going to start happening in 2024.
Yes, thanks, Ken. Yeah, there are just a few upcoming things that we've got coming up here to bring in the new year. Next Monday, January 1st, the market and our office will be closed to celebrate the new year with our families. Next Wednesday, January 3rd, our office will be closed from 9:30 to 4 as we learn to serve you better in 2024. Wednesday, January 10th will be our next bi-weekly update. And then something to mark on your calendar, January 11th, Thursday, will be our next health and wealth seminar with Michelle Norris. So that's always good information from her. So please register for that as well. So that's it for the next couple of weeks. So Happy New Year, everybody.
Well, thank you, Julie. We appreciate that, and Happy New Year to you as well. And with that being said, it was great, a great 2023. There was a lot of learning going on. There was a lot of patience going on. There was a lot of rewards going on for 2023. So just want to say thank you all for being clients of Gentian. Chris, would you like to say anything else before we sign off for the 2023 year?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. So what we look for is participation with you, getting to know you better in forms that are outside of just finance. So that is things like the book club. That is things like our Eat Outside Day. That is things like we're going to have in 2024 that are really meant to intend to get you to know you better as people and strengthen our friendships. To many of you, you started out as maybe a client, which maybe was an interesting relationship, right? But really become friends. The nice thing about us is we are more of a collection of people together in a community than any that I know. And the mindset that you all have is infectious. We love spending time with you. So we want to do more of that in 2024 as well. As you'll see different opportunities, we'll let you know them. Julie's let you know them today. We'll continue to let you know them as we go through 2024. But most importantly, Gentian Financial is really an entity that's here to serve you. That's what it exists for. That's what the ethos is of this. I don't know what the word means, but it sounds good. The ethos is interstitial to our existence. I don't know what that sounds, but it sounded pretty good, so I decided to say it. It's really who we are. We're here. We're always getting better for you. We have found our vocation. You can see when people catch fire and they start to serve others. It's an extremely cool thing to be around others who are that committed to serving you. It's not common. I've seen many organizations and it's not common. So I want to let you know, if you feel something a little bit different here, it's palpable. It's real. I've seen it. And I just want to let you know that it is true and it is here as well. But I would say for 2024, we look forward to anything you'd like to accomplish, to the goals, dreams, to the family things you'd like to do, to the health challenges you're going to overcome, to the setbacks that occur. I want to make sure you all know that just because we're super happy about something doesn't mean that bad things can't happen. We're excited about 2024. We'll be here for any challenges, for all the achievements that you have as well, and the milestones that you're going to have with you and your family. So with that, I would like to say thank you for what you have built here. You have built, and this is your award, an award-winning practice. Several magazines have actually noticed, and you'll see your name in them. It may have to show up as mine or our team's, but they are your awards. When you see the name in a magazine that says anything to do with Gentian, I want to let you know, and I want you immediately to go to, this is your award. This is your trust in us. We want to make sure that's evidently clear to you. With that, we want to wish you a wonderful 2024. Don't party too hard unless you need to, I guess that's up to you, and your 2023 ending. But from the galactic world and local headquarters here in Mequon, Wisconsin of Gentian Financial, we want to thank you for a tremendous 2023. Hopefully we provided you a great 2023 as well. And we really look forward to serving you even better in the coming years of 2024. With that, Happy New Year!